Hey friends, happy Tuesday. Wanted to hop on for a quick word of encouragement. As always, this is a super stressful time of the year, although if you think about it, I guess the fall and the winter are really stressful times of the year with all the holidays all up in there together on the calendar. It's a very stressful time for most of us. But right now, if you have children in school, it is a very stressful time between the finals and end of the year semester stuff. No matter what age, grade, school type that they're in, it is stressful for the mamas and the kiddos. So I thought I would hop in and share some tips and words of encouragement as somebody who has dealt with big swing of pendulum of the stress symptoms in my life, and offer some words of encouragement for some of you, whether it's you that are super stressed out or your mama and your loved one is feeling really stressed out right now with everything for end of the year stuff for your students. For me, I really don't like the term mental health awareness. I think it's emotional health, and I believe that whether you're a believer or not, that it's our responsibility to take care of ourselves, body, mind, and spirit. So it's just hard to say mental health because it's really your emotional health. And so I'd like to give you some tips and encouragement to help and heal your emotional health for you or your student. So for me, if you are somebody who is an introvert, especially, you tend to be somebody who is a stuffer, and you will just bring in all of the stress and let it just kind of boil in here. And sometimes it simmers out depending on how you release it. And sometimes it's just this massive, all of a sudden, like this boulder just all of a sudden releases, and it's like, and everything just gushes out. So I want to help you temper that a little bit, again, for yourself or your student. So there's going to be three things. So here's three ways that you can help be very helpful and supportive in a season of high stress. The first one is ask the question, how can I help you? Or how can I serve you? What can I do for you? Instead of what we typically first trigger response is, oh, it'll be fine. You're going to be okay. It's all right. Don't worry about it. When you are in a heightened state of stress, somebody telling you that it's fine or it's not a big deal, they're minimizing what's bubbling inside of you. For extroverts, they're just putting it all out there. You know, if you're that personality where it's very easy, you wear your feelings on your sleeve, and maybe it's not necessarily introvert, extrovert, but the personality type of just being very outspoken. It's not hard for you to share your feelings, and you're going to let everybody know how you feel. So my filter and my encouragement is always going to be through the filter of somebody who's a little bit more of a self-observer and stuffer and more private with their thoughts and feelings. But for somebody to say, oh, it's not that big of a deal, it's going to be fine, don't worry about it, instead of saying, how can I support you, is going to release that pressure of them to now have to also defend their feelings. So the first thing that you can do in a stressful relationship, whether again it's to yourself or to your student, is ask, how can I help? How can I serve? How can I pray for you? The second thing that you can do is offer affirmations. You are enough. You are prepared. You are smart. You are able. You are doing all the things that you need to do. You are going to be fine. Anything that is affirming for them, to affirm that they are enough, is going to be huge, because when you're in a state of stressness, your mind shrinks. Your ability to expand creativity, to expand knowledge, to feel capable and confident and courageous is shrunk down when you are stressed out. So to counterbalance what the person who is stressed out is feeling, which is confined and small and stressed in this little ball of energy, if you can release that by affirming them and surrounding by love, love releases. Fear and anxiety constricts. So if you can help them release that ball of tension that they're feeling in just the pit of their heart and their mind, their soul, they got stomach up in their throat because they're so stressed out. If you can release that in love by just affirming them, maybe you pray over them. Maybe there's a time where you can sit with them and just give the affirmations and ask what you can do to help serve, help study with them. If it's not school related for them and it's a relationship or a friendship or something else, what can you do to surround them with love, with your words, with your actions, with your prayers, to help them dissolve that stress ball and release it to bubbles. We want to go with happy bubbles, love bubbles. So the first one is asking them, how can I help serve you? The second one is giving them love bubbles, affirmations. The third one is practical helps. You know, I'm always about the practical helps. So practical, pray, whether it's you or for your loved one, pray over them, verbally pray, let them know that you're going to be praying for them as they prepare, as they're in the season, and even follow up. A lot of times when we go through stressful seasons, the follow up is not our strong game. It means so much when you have just gone through this depleting or stressful moment or crisis, for somebody to circle back a couple of days later and just say, hey, I was thinking about you. I just want you to know I was thinking about you and I'm praying for you. Or, hey, can I pray for you now that you've walked through it, that the Lord would, give you those teachable moments and that you'd remember this as living stones in your faith walk with him, that you've overcome and got to the other side of whatever that moment was. So offering prayer. The other thing practical is encouraging your stressed one to release it physically. So whether it's go to the gym, go for a walk, do something creative. If they're a creative personality, encourage them to go write or doodle or draw or journal or go play with the dogs and cats or go do something active, physically releasing the adrenaline that's like pent up inside, especially if you're that introvert who is an imploder. For me, I love just going out into my yard. I love going on a walk with a friend. I like to just walk by myself and just listen to a podcast or something encouraging or funny or light. This is not the time to invite your friend out to some drama movie or horror movie. This is a time to, again, love bubbles. We're trying to diffuse the stress ball and release. So love releases. So encourage your loved one, or if it's you, what can you do that would be releasing that cortisol just racing through your body so that you can have a physical release? The other thing I want to show you, y'all know that I'm an oily girl. I've been doing this since 2005-ish, 6-ish. The oils. I'm not trying to sell you some oils, but let me just give you the practical point of these. These are the 3 that I never leave my house without. They're always in my bag, whether I'm going to the kids' sports event or I am on vacation. I'm here at the house. I have these at my desk right here. They don't ever not leave me because to me, these are my love bubble releasers. So the first one is Stress Away. The second one is called Joy. And the other one is Lavender. So I cannot vouch for other brands, obviously, but for me, these have been what has been super, super beneficial, like medication for me. So I will not be switching these out. Once you know what works, this is what you stick with, right? But for if you're not wanting to do the oils or you don't understand them, which I'm happy to help on a very basic level, because again, I know what I've just needed for me. So I've been able to research just that. I'm not going to be your oily guru girl, but happy to help just point you to specific things in relation to this conversation. But what you can do is pay attention to what is going in the body as far as watch the sugars. I know it's super tempting to want to just go get a big old Dr. Pepper or a massive sweet tea, but that's a lot of sugar, and it's going to end up causing your whole body system to just go crazy and be all wonky. So you do not want to run to the caffeine, which would be super easy to do. And then also all the sugary foods, because yes, it's a comfort and they're incredible. However, find the substitutions for it, because you're going to regret it later when your brain just crashes and your body crashes. So be careful of what you're giving and gifting your friends. All things in moderation. I love, if I'm in a super stressful day, just getting a couple of chocolate chips is amazing, and dipping them in a little peanut butter is like awesome. Having a small little can of Coke as a treat for the reward after they've come home from their stressful day or whatever, just those are fine. It's all things in moderation. Just don't go out and get yourself the big old Bluebell ice cream gallon and just take the spoon to it with, chocolate syrup all inside of it. Although it would be really easy. So pay attention to the sugars of what you're putting in your body or giving your student. And then also paying attention to the vitamins that you're taking in. If you can do lavenders, lavender tea, lavender lotion, lavender candles, lavender oils, diffuse the calming senses. So citruses are really good. The lavender is really great. And let your body just relax and be still in nutritional rest, if you will. So do things that are not harsh on your body, that are healthy, that feel good. A lot of times when you're super stressed out, it's really actually hard to eat, especially if you start creeping over into the pendulum side of anxiety and panic. It's really hard to eat, and your stomach's really going to be upset. So be careful of what you're eating, and you can look up different diets and nutritional support for people that have are in crisis, or if you're having anxiety attacks or high cortisol, or your body's really acidic or whatever. There's great, but basically just eating clean, eating crunchy salads are going to be great. Those yogurts are really good. But again, whatever is good for your body is what you need to do. Just be careful of all the high comfort sugary stuff, because that's going to be the ultimate temptation. Maybe treat yourself afterwards with your friend. So let's see, what else do I have? That's pretty much it. So 3 things. That's what I'm going to leave you with. The first one is asking the question, how can I help? How can I serve? How can I bless you? How can I walk this out with you? Giving them your gift of presence. The second thing is affirmations. Instead of questioning them or minimizing them, which you think you're being helpful, but in fact, it's actually going to put them on the defense, is affirming their abilities, their capabilities, their enoughness. That they're all that they need. And then the third thing is helps by prayers and practical things like walking, things that you're putting in your body, aromatherapies, meditations, quoting the scriptures, writing, art, working out, physical, body, mind, and spirit. Whatever that might look like for you, to give yourself that release and that rest, and let that stress knot be broken up by all the love bubbles. So I hope that's a word of encouragement for you. That's one of my greatest blogs that gets shared out. Not greatest as in it's great. The most shared or commented on blog that people message me about is the one where it says, my loved one is having anxiety or is highly stressed out. How can I support and love them? So that's where this comes from. And anytime there's stressful seasons, our gift of presence really is something so precious and valuable, and also prayers. Because if you're a believer, we know that the most powerful weapon that we have for ourselves to hold, or for us to hold for over another, to intercede on their behalf, is prayer. It's a beautiful gift. And so let them know. If the Lord brings somebody to your mind, a lot of the things that we deal with in crisis are private, especially for those of us who are more of those private, self-reflecting type people. We're not just going to be out there sharing what our current crisis or struggle is. So if the Lord brings somebody to your mind, just cover them in prayer. Maybe send them a message and just let them know that the Lord put them on your heart and that you prayed for them. And you never know what that could do to help them with that little stress bubble that you may not even know about, but the Lord does, because he sees within all of us, and he sends us affirmations, his hands and feet, his heart hugs here on earth through each other and through worship. So get your music on, take those moments that you need to just breathe, give yourself the affirmations that you need, or again, for your student, if they're in the stressful situation, don't push, just praise and prayer and just pause. I think those are, I like that. Prayer, praise, and pause. Those are the 3 ways that you can be a supportive friend to somebody, you or your student. So anyway, just know that you are able to do all things. You are more than a conqueror. You are seen, loved, and heard. And you know what? He is near the brokenhearted. So if you are in a season of crisis, just know that you're absolutely not alone. And if you feel like you're suffocating, I hope that some of these tips will be something that will bless and open up your heart and release some of those love bubbles for you. So you have the most awesome and wonderful Tuesday. Bye, y'all.